black high school students are being offered a black graduation, a blacks only graduation, essentially. And this is new in line. This is another thing that they're trying to pull right now to say that it's this great idea, when in reality, it's just segregation, and they're covering up for what it really is. So we have this new report here showing, and it says parents in Beaverton, Oregon received a district email announcing that a local organization, the Beaverton Black Parent Union, this was already a bad idea because you already have a union set up by black people only, but it says along with the Black Student Union would be offering a district-wide black student graduation ceremony. According to the email, the event will be open to any senior student in districts who identifies as black, including African American, Afro-Latino, African, or mixed race black. So, by the way, does that include, since they're talking about identifying as black, does that mean that it's okay if a white student just walks up in there and says, hey, technically I identify as black, so should I be able to do this? I mean, if a man can identify as a woman and a woman can identify as a man, what is really the difference there? And of course, they will look at them like they're crazy, right? This is what happens when you buy into this crazy left-wing stuff, okay? That's the logical conclusion. But it goes on and says the black student graduation ceremony is not intended to replace the mainstream graduation, and no diplomas will be rewarded. Rather, the event is intended to be a supplemental celebration. This is neo-segregationist ideology at work here. What we're seeing is this new age segregation policy, an idea of people thinking that it's really that almost like that separate but equal type of idea that we had years and years ago, where back then somebody else was saying that you need to segregate, but now the left has literally tricked black people into segregating themselves. Think about that for a second. We live in a day and age where people are being so woke and trying to be so progressive, by the way, that they are and have gotten black people and other races to segregate themselves. Because apparently that's what's important. Now, they're not the only ones, apparently. So Harvard University made headlines in recent years for creating a separate commencement ceremony for black students. And then according to the Washington Examiner, over 75 colleges are holding black-only graduation ceremonies. So this isn't anything specifically new. It's something that's definitely practiced in different places, or at least a decent amount of them. But what we're once again seeing is this idea that through the progressive ideology, this woke thing, now they're saying, you know what, we need to be separate. I mean, think about how hard the black people during slavery and shortly after slavery had fought to get everybody together, to get everybody to a point where black people could be right there with white people doing the same thing in every way. And now we live in a time where they have entirely gone the opposite direction, where they're saying, you know what, we want to go back to that. It's like they're viewing, we don't want the slavery part, but we want to go back to that part where we were segregated, where there was a whites only or a blacks only section. That's what we want. Because we're so woke, because we're so concerned, and we're telling white people that they're inherently racist now, whether they are or they're not. We're just telling them that, and they must believe what we're saying. They must bow the knee to us. We do that in every way, and that way now we are segregating ourselves. We must stay separate from them in order for us to achieve greatness, or to just show that it's such a great achievement that we just need to have our own event where we feel so safe talking about our own race, our own stupid skin color that means absolutely nothing. All because it's in the name of progressivism and the idea for some reason that amongst the left that you must find this thing about you that's so special, whether that's your skin color or what sex you are or what you want to identify as or the troubles you've had. You see it over and over again. This victim mentality making them think that they need to have their own black graduation for some reason. This isn't helping anybody. If you want people to achieve greatness, just put them out there and let them achieve greatness. You don't need to be separating everybody by men, women, and color and everything else. But that's what this ideology represents. It makes it okay. And it has these own groups so tricked that they're willing to do it themselves, that they're willing to literally separate themselves away from other people of other races because that's what they want to do. But unfortunately for them, that's not the real world. You going around and covering yourself up from other races and what's actually happening out there in the world today isn't the real world. It never will be. And thank goodness it won't be. Hopefully it won't be that way. But either way, people need to wake up to this kind of stuff. This shouldn't be happening in colleges whatsoever.